Hi Ian. So what we'll do now is we'll just have a little bit of a post-induction consultation, and we'll just talk a little bit about the session and go through some feedback that you may have. So firstly, did you encounter any injuries following our induction?
No, really quite the reverse. I wasn't quite as stiff as I would normally be. That might be due to doing a bit more of a organised stretch down.
So how did you feel after the session?
Quite good actually. It put my posture into a bit better order, and no real adverse reactions.
Good, that's good to hear. So how did you find the session overall?
I thought it was good. It wasn't a session I would normally do because I wouldn't normally do that amount of free weights. But that was quite good. It gave everything a good workout, and I say I had no real reactions to it afterwards.
Good. Do you feel like it's something that you could take forwards into your own workouts to do next time you go to the gym, perhaps?
Yeah, I could take out in particular some of the warm-up stretches and some of the cool-down stretches, and maybe not do the cardio cool-down quite as hard as I have been doing, because that one was a lot less strenuous.
What sort of thing would you usually do for your cardio cool-down?
Well, I'd normally do 5 to 7 minutes on a normal upright bike, mainly because sometimes when the weather's fit, I'll just go for an hour's bike ride. I just want to keep my knees going on that.
So what was it that you found better about the rower that we did?
The rower wasn't as intense, because what I would normally do is I'd use the rower almost like interval training, where I'd do half a minute at say 30 strokes per minute now, and then I'd try to push that up for another 30 seconds up to about 34. Obviously I'm not as young as I used to be, can't do it quite as hard as I used to be able to do, and then I'd come down and I'd do that for about 5 minutes, and then at the end of that would end on 5 minutes at a high rate of exercise, and I'd add another 30 seconds or so at a lower rate to bring it down from that before going on to the cool down on the bike.
So it was a bit less strenuous.
It was a bit less strenuous, yeah. Didn't have the interval elements in it.
Brilliant, that's good to hear. So I thought that you picked up all of the exercises that we did really quickly, because I appreciate that they weren't all that familiar to you, especially the free weights ones as well. I was quite happy with your form and your technique on all of the cardio equipment as well. The ski erg was another one that you'd not seen before. How did you find using that?
I found it was okay. I can't remember seeing one quite like that at any of the gyms that I've been to, either the David Lloyd at the Trafford Centre or at the Pure Gym that I normally go to in Stretford. I've had a look around unless it's downstairs somewhere with the free weights. I haven't seen that machine before.
Right, okay. They are becoming a little bit more popular now, so hopefully it's something that they might potentially purchase at the gym that you attend. So what I would recommend now is to keep working on that programme, just to familiarise yourself at the weights that we used with the form for the free weights exercises in particular. Just focusing on, for instance, in the dumbbell bench press, keeping your hands at 45 degrees, and just working on making sure that your core and your back muscles are engaged as well, just to keep your trunk stable as you move your arms throughout the free weight exercises. And then some of the exercises we used, like some support from the wall to help with the balance, and for instance the squats we've used the bench as well to give you a bit of a guideline. So just keep building on the stability and the balance that's needed for those exercises, again using your core and stabilising your trunk, which is the name that we give to your torso here. And then hopefully you'll be able to progress those and potentially move away from the wall to test your balance, or to use to take away the bench for the squats as well. How did you find the squats, because I appreciate you, that's not something that you usually train.
I think it's something I'd have to be careful with because, again, age-related wear and tear. I do sometimes get sore knees, which is why I stopped running a long time ago. I don't use a treadmill because I don't want to put all the impact loads on my knees. And I do sometimes get a little bit of discomfort in my hip, which again might be wear and tear because I've always done a little bit of something. But yeah, that would be something I would have to watch and be very careful of.
So perhaps keep the bench in for now.
Keep the bench in.
And you can always pause at the bottom of the rep.
Yeah.
So sit down on the bench, take the weight up your legs for a moment, and then go again and just build up that familiarity in the movement.
Yeah.
So just to conclude the consultation, did you have any further questions or anything that you'd like to know?
No, not at the moment. Thanks very much. No.
Wonderful, right then. So like I say, thank you for being part of this for me and for letting me give you a gym induction.